Okay, this is game 6 of the match between MInionpawn and GraceG. MInionpawn jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and Grace has won the last 2. So, you know, a little bit of a comeback going on. Some interesting stuff going on here. Obviously, Goons is a card that you often are going to play with pretty solidly. Capitalism also makes Goons, you know, marginally better. You know, there's also ill-gotten gains. Can a deck that just buys a bunch of ill-gotten gains interfere with that Goons deck enough that they can't win, given that there's no other treasure here? Given there's no other trashing here. And without the trashing here, this kingdom seems quite tough to get to work. So they both opened Caravan Silver. Grace was able to hit Goons on turn 3. MInionpawn was not, due to the shuffles. And I would be very worried as MInionpawn here. Unfortunately, they can't play the Seer, but they do have 6 money, so they can just buy their own Goons here. No need to play the Seer and trigger a shuffle without a Goons. Now we're in the Goons game. You know, so in general, I think if you're not playing with the ill-gotten gains, you buy a bunch of Goons, you buy a bunch of Caravans and Heralds and Walled Villages, and if you end up with too many Goons, you could potentially get Capitalism. Seems pretty unlikely here. I would consider Herald over some of these Caravans, to be honest. At least in my view, I like the fact that Herald can move through your shuffle a little bit faster sometimes. You can also play the Herald every turn. You can only play the Caravan once every other turn, although it does give you the plus card on the second turn. I'm also more fine having a whole bunch of Heralds in my deck with a bunch of Goons. At some point when you have like 3 or 4 Goons, you have to consider getting the Capitalism if you want to play them all, unless you have a bunch of Heralds and Villages and stuff. But we'll see what MInionpawn does here, if they go for just more Caravans, or they're going into the Heralds now. So maybe they're both transitioning to Heralds. And this is just slightly annoying. You hit both your Goons, you know, right together, and now you've got a bunch of cards left in the deck. But you know, without deck control from trashing, that's what you get sometimes. With 5 here, I would strongly consider Bazaar for MInionpawn. The silver on that last turn from Grace, I don't like. I would consider passing by over buying a silver in this kingdom. That silver is just a dead card in your deck. You're not going to be able to draw through it very easily. And now they've both transitioned to the ill-gotten gains stuff. So this is now where the game can get a lot messier. They're just buying a whole bunch of ill-gotten gains, and it seems tough to get the engines working. I think Grace there on their last turn could have bought a Herald overpaid 1 to top deck of Goons, potentially, but we'll see. Another aspect of the Seer that's really nice is that you can line up your cards with Herald to top deck. So if you end up with, you know, a Seer and a Goons or something in your cards, you can line it up to make sure that the Herald's going to hit an action that you can play every turn. Again, they've both gone a little bit for the IG stuff. They've both gotten 2 ill-gotten gains, which is IG, and played those. A little bit of a mixed strategy. It's not clear to me that just a pure ill-gotten gains rush, where you get all the ill-gotten gains, your opponent has now 10 curses, and maybe you get Goons attacked a couple times, but it's going to be really hard for them to hit Goons with all those curses in their deck. And then you can just either pick up your own Goons at that point, or pile down duchies pretty easily. And it's going to be tough for them to outscore you, even with the extra victory points from Goons. We see here without the curses, they've only been able to get 6 or 7 victory points by turn 14. So certainly it's slow going here. And if MInionpawn wants to buy like a Herald or a... Yeah, Herald probably is the best. Well, they've got so many non-action cards that I know that Herald's the best anymore. So I think I like in this kingdom having gone for either going for ill-gotten gains early and then a later Goons, or skipping ill-gotten gains entirely if that's what you decide to do. When you phrase it like that and you say, well, obviously I'm going to go for ill-gotten gains, then maybe that means you shouldn't continue building with the Goon stuff. Well, this is quite a nice turn. Able to get a province. And a copper. Interesting. It's a very early copper. I think it's 1 shuffle too early. I think you want to wait to get that copper until the next shuffle, especially because you're now in the lead with that early province. And it's not clear that Grace is going to be able to easily province here. I would definitely get another ill-gotten gains here. Hit your opponent with that curse, and hopefully do it again. We'll see what Grace does in response. Okay, just a seer. So now I think you sort of happily take a copper and buy ill-gotten gains in a state and claim that you're going to buy estates and duchies, and your opponent's not going to be able to do provinces and stuff faster. That would be my line here, at least. Especially since you've already taken coppers into this shuffle. So this is going to be a long shuffle. For Minion Pawn, going to be tough to get through. And a lot of the turns you're only going to have 2, 3, 4 money. So, you know, buying estates to make the game faster seem nice. Yeah, so again, Grace has this 2 goons turn, which is sad. A little unfortunate, given the size of the deck. They both collided as well with the mine. I did not notice the mine being bought. I would not have bought the mine myself in this kingdom, but it's an interesting card. I don't really think it fits. And it looks here like Minion Pawn is going to be able to buy 2 estates every time they see their goons, be able to finish this off in a couple of turns. I'm not quite sure where it went wrong. I think some of the buys, the mine is strange, getting some silvers is strange. You really just want to get goons, then get a whole bunch of 4 and 5 cost actions and try to chain them together with heralds and stuff, and get that stack going. I think once Minion Pawn went for Ig, Grace switched over to that plan and was just a little bit behind there. I'm not sure if you can avoid it entirely, but you know, maybe you could have considered building one more turn, and if Minion Pawn kept going for Igs, you could switch then, having the advantage of having built more. That feels bad too, though. I kind of wanted to go ill-gotten gains from the start. I mean, it's turn 22 now. They have 13 and 16 points respectively from the VP. So minus 10 curses, and the goons is almost canceled out. Yeah, Minion Pawn got that early province and was just able to slam the estates, and Grace had to try to build a little bit more. That was an hour match, so both players played pretty well, I think. Minion Pawn had the momentum early on. Grace came back, and you know, some interesting games. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts for the players or about myself. And thank you.